Hello and welcome to video 4, which we're going to be talking about is padding around your labels, your buttons, etc. So down here, this is currently my lad's Raspberry Pi official touchscreen, which is, I think it's a 3B+, but basically this is obviously the time now, today's date. He has a series of buttons. These are just labels, but these are set into window frames, and this is set into a radio frame. That's a time frame, if I remember rightly. This is the code that's running the software. I've just copied it over to myself, but because I don't have a touch screen, I've turned off these bits of code, and I've taken it out of full screen so that it doesn't take over my full screen there. So there's the time frame that I was talking about, and then there's the radio frame. So we have a time label, which is obviously this section, and we've got a date label, which is this section. So he's currently playing some music, so it's showing the station label, information, and the song, Heart, These Dreams. I don't think I really know that song. I might recognise it if I heard it, and that's down in the song label. But let's not click anything on his screen because he's listening to it. But this is our amazing little GUI that we've got built up so far, which is basically a button. So let's add a button to it, or in fact we'll stick a label in instead. Let's just make it a little bit bigger now we've got rid of that other bit. So we'll call this label something very unique. We'll call this, we're going to pop this into the app window part. We're not using any frames on this, we're just calling straight into the window, and we're just going to pop some text in there just to say hello for now, and we're going to pop it in with a label.pack because we're using pack, and then we'll just run that and we'll see what it looks like. So because let's get rid of that, just bring it down here, more central. So we're not setting the size of our screen, so that's why it's very cramped. So it's just touching each other basically. There's no room around it. So that's where you can use padding. So as it currently is, there's nothing. So if I put a pad X of 20, that's going to put padding at either side of the button. So if I run that, you see how it's made quite a difference. Let's move this over here so it doesn't keep coming over the top of the code. So that's where our 20 pixels is. So let's put a bit of padding on the top. So we'll do pad Y. So you've got pad X and pad Y. X is your x-axis and then Y is your vertical. So we'll do 20 on that one. So what we should have in theory is click me being touching at the top of the window, and then hello will have 20 pixels above it and below it. Let's run that, and just like we thought, that's where we're getting the 20 pixels above and 20 pixels below. Bearing in mind there is an inner and there is an inner padding. So if I set on this the iPad Y and I set this to 100, we'll see that it's going to be massive now. But if I set this to 0, then that should be back to roughly where it was. Now let's move this button down a bit as well. So now we should see that we've got 20 pixels above that button, like we do, but this button has an additional 20 pixels underneath it, plus the 20 pixels of the hello label. And the easiest way we can visualize that is if we set the background to a colour. So let's select purple, just to be completely different to the RGB. So you see how we've got no inner pixels around it. So if I get rid of that and it goes back to the default size and run it, see we've got a little bit of room around it now. So if I put it back in, I'll call that 50 instead. Yeah, so now you see what I mean? You've got that inner padding of the button. So although that 20 pixels, so like there we've got the paddy of 20 pixels, so that button is ending about there. I don't know why I'm using my mouse. I've got a touchpad now, so I can draw on my screen. If I click that, it clears it. Let's grab that. I'm not used to using this yet, so just bear with me. Turn it back on. So there's 20 pixels, which is that one, and then we've got 20 pixels underneath it on a straight downwards rather than like a weird cliff, and then the label has its own. If I do this, nope, I did that wrong button. Like I say, I'm still getting used to this. Nope, that's erase. There we go. I even got an arrow there, I don't know how. But yeah, so that is the gap in between the buttons. Well, sorry, the button and the label. And then this is your inner padding of that label, which is that one. And the pad Y is that green bit there. So if I reference that by pressing the button, there you go. I will get used to using this touchpad. So yeah, so that's how you can work with padding. Okay, that's pretty much it for padding wise. So yeah, stick with it and I'll see you in the next video. What we'll be covering then is how you can put labels to the left, to the top, the bottom, right, etc. But it differs when you're using pack or grid, because it uses different wording. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.